Welcome to Full Stream Ahead, live stream number 32. Hi, Corky.
I'm sort of working on something a little bit, but why stop doing it now? Next time. Some things in my life. Am I wrong about you? Oh, you never slip out on me like some other woman do. Cheat on me. You don't expect to have your cake and eat it too. Oh, but I've been wrong about some things in my life. Am I wrong about you? don't expect to have your cake and eat it too. Ah, but I've been wrong about some things in my life. Wrong about you. We're losing it over here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh dear. Lord have mercy.
God, it's story time.
Oh my goodness.
What was going to happen next? I have no idea. I'm looking for help.
Somebody help me.
Maybe there's some help here.
Maybe we'll knock on the door.
Excuse me.
Knock on the door.
Can you help me?
Anybody home? Okay. Are you ready for some Ken Goerres this morning?
Oh, yes. Story time. Okay, so today is the launch of my unrecorded love projects. I'll only talk a little bit about it, but I want you to listen to Ken. Holly and I are calling this sleight of ear. Ken has been my sound meister, sound designer, since 1973. And I have yet to find anybody that could take his place
Well, he's one of a kind.
in this universe. I don't know what I would do without Ken, because we are like souls in the sense that I will work on, well, as I explained before, when I work on a song, it's very rare that I don't spend months on it. So when my friends are writing 100 songs, I always say, my 100 songs are in this one song. However it turns out, it's my life goes into this one thing, and I think this is the only song I have, like I just played that song. Am I wrong about you? I played it 1,000 times.
But not like that.
Well, not like that. I will tell you, it's like that. When I play a whole set of tunes, and I'm working on one, and I'm playing one tune in the set, it's not like I'm playing a set of tunes. I don't even know that I'm playing a set of tunes. I'm playing this one tune, and my whole life is going into that one thing. What an amazing experience.
For all of us.
Yeah, and so it's really easy for me to get lost. There's always this little, be nice to the people. Don't get too crazy. But then I forget about the people and I get crazy. I don't know what to tell you. So, but Ken is like that. He's like I'm the OCD of
Ken Meister.
manipulating one note at a time and composing something. And wanting to find out, what can I do different with that one note? Kenny is that way with sound. And I introduced him on one of the last streams, saying the Rolling Stones are using his cables, Warner Brothers was using his speakers, all the great mastering geniuses in LA know about Ken, and they will go to him, hey Ken, come, let's see if we could squeeze more sound in my studio. Because Kenny is into sound. So I just want to share this with you. This is something a lot of people don't get to hear, even other musicians. This particular philosophy, an approach, and perspective to sound. So let me introduce you to Ken Goerres.
Here we go.
My dear friend and sound maestro.
So I'm at Navy Pier. I'm not working. I'm just there. And Corky was playing solo. And so I go to see him. And the show is not starting. And I was with a woman who hated it if I did work-related stuff when we were together. and I'm not working. So after about 10 minutes, I say, I think I should go see what's happening, otherwise we might not get to see you play. So I walk up to the stage and you go, Ken, I'm going to go in the dressing room for 3 minutes. Do whatever you can. I'm going to come out and play. So I say, well, what's the problem? They had a little submixer on the stage, and the main mixer in the back of the room, hundreds of feet away. And they said, well, we're losing signal between here and there. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, when the meter's going full up and down here, it's barely moving up there. So I said, oh, I know what the problem is. Do you have any gaffer's tape? And he gets me some gaffer's tape, and I put it over the meters. And then I say, we're going to listen to it with the mic input hardly up and the master way up. And then both of them about equal, and then the channel way up and the master very far down. Well, they all sounded the same. So I just put them both in the middle, and when the level was right to listen to, I said, oh, okay, now Corky could play. So I fixed it. You know, you always need to have gaffer's tape.
To cover the meters so people will pay attention to the sound.
It's a concept. In the early days of chamber blues, I developed what we've been calling Acoustics. I don't know if I ever told you, Cork, I have a company called Acoustics now. You could go to the website, acoustics.com. And we called it Acoustics, and we put the speakers, one speaker behind the string quartet, up on the pole, and the bottom of the speaker is about 7 feet off the floor, and another speaker behind the piano. And only the string quartet came out of their speaker, and only the piano and Corky's vocal and the harmonica came out of the other speaker, and the tabla would come out of both. He's sitting right in between. And then, if there was a house system, there usually is, we would hook into the house system through some digital delays. And there's an effect called Haas effect, H-A-A-S, precedence effect, that you locate sound by where you hear it first. And the delayed sound could be up to 10 dB louder. That's 10 times the power. And you would still locate it, pointing, saying it came from there where it came first. So by delaying...
Everyone understands. So what he's saying is there's speakers behind the group, and there's these big giant house speakers that fill the house. And he's talking about if the sound from the speakers behind hit your ear first, that's where you experience the sound is coming from. Even though it's actually coming from the big speakers and filling the house more strongly, you're thinking it's coming from the stage because you're making sure that the speakers behind the group hit the ear in the audience first.
Mm-hmm. And the speakers could be on the side of the stage, it could be a central cluster. It works either way. We did many gigs where there were central cluster plus stage speakers on the sides, plus the speakers behind. When you hear chamber blues in concert, it sounds like all of the sound is coming from the string quartet, and all of the piano sound is coming from the piano. Because you're looking and you could point where the sound is coming from. And the effect is so convincing, related story. When we would do workshops, and of course the workshop, there would always be the professors there, and very often the workshop would be held in the concert hall where we're set up to do the concert. One time in particular, the professor says, "What do you need the speakers for?" Well, the speakers are already on. The band is rehearsing, and then we do the workshop, and it's the only thing the teacher has heard. And he goes, "Well, what do you need the speakers for? The sound of the string quartet and the piano is just so beautiful." And Corky says, "Oh, would you like to hear the sound with the speakers on?" And what that really meant was turn the speakers off. So we turn the speakers off, and the sound, which was really nice, probably, I'm just guessing, 1,200 seat auditorium or so, not a tiny room, not a massive room. All of a sudden the sound just got really tiny. Well, I used to say I've never been in any of the world's, what's regarded as any of the world's 50 best rooms, except for now I've been to Disney Hall, so I can't say that anymore. I have to guess what makes a room that is considered to be one of the best halls in the world is that the back of the room sounds a lot like the front of the room. Well, you go into a 1,200 seat auditorium in a university, probably not one of the world's great rooms. So by the time we would add the amplification in a really subtle way, and now having been to Disney Hall, I can say it is more like that. The professor was suitably shocked.
When we turned the sound off on him and he went, "Whoa." When we started doing that, the house sound people would say, "That was the best sound I've ever heard in this room." Every time after time. And eventually we couldn't do that anymore because we didn't have you with us. And and some people, if they didn't really know how to do it, it would sound not good.
It's a trick. It's a parlor trick. It's sleight of ear. So sound check very often would take 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. On a particularly difficult setup, I remember saying to Corky, "You know, this would go a lot quicker if we didn't care how it sounded."
So I just wanted to share a little of this with you because Ken is the guy who has been doing all the post-production on our records. Yeah, on our records. I guess they're still called records. On our records for a long, long time. He's always done the live sound, but he and the thing is, the point is that for someone else it takes 5 hours to mix some tracks, Kenny will take 25 hours. And he'll send, after the first 5 hours, we think it's done. Wow, this is beautiful. He says, let me work on it a little more. And then he sends it back. And we go, wow, I didn't think that could get better. And it did. And he says, let me work on it a little longer. And this happens 5 or 10 times. It keeps, we say it's great, exactly the way it is, don't ruin it. And then he sends it back and he makes it better. This is the kind of guy,
Remarkably magical.
Yeah, so he did the sound on this.
I want to say most of his recordings for Chamber Blues have always won an audiophile award.
Accolade.
An accolade. So he's quite amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, and we do crazy things like the Traveling Chamber Blues Show album. Just every cut was done in a different venue. We traveled all over the Midwest and New York. There's a couple cuts. They're a combination of 4 different venues. The same performance is taken from pieces of 4 different venues and crazy stuff. And another thing I wanted to do on this album, and I may have only done it a little bit on one cut, I'm not sure, but it's something called Ambient Variation. It is a word I made up, and I thought it was an idea I made up, which is where you take the area mics and turn them up and down, in volume. Off, up and down, this way. So you take the faders on the board, here's the right speaker, here's the left speaker, and you just go like this. Just every possible thing. And I sent it to some friends, and I said, and I did one where I just left them the same and one where I kept changing them. I sent it to friends and they couldn't tell that this was going on. All they said was, well, this one has a lot more energy and dimension. So I wanted to do the whole album like that, but I also wanted to get the album out. So I did cut this corner, but I'm not going to do it on the next one. Actually, I do something like this. It's in a couple places in the upcoming show. You could check on it at quirkymusic.com. Oh, okay, actually, here's the trailer. Well, it was Cupid and Venus and Eros, you and me. Thank you, everyone. We love you.
See you on the Zoom.
See you on the Zoom.
Bye-bye.